All right, no problem. So the class is being recorded. Okay, so like I said, once again, welcome to tonight's class on financial reporting. Okay, so like I said, our live classes is going to be majorly more targeted towards what? Towards past questions, right? Because I now have sent materials to you, right? And those materials have solved and explained most of what you need to know, right? So our live class is not a repetition of what we have in the materials. It's going to be more practical, and so we're going to what? We're going to be working more on what? On past questions. So for every standard, for every area we're going to look at in the live class, we're going to be solving more of what? Past questions. So because we have questions to solve tonight, I don't want us to waste so much time. So we'll get right into it very soon. But please let me confirm. Please, how many of us have been able to go through the materials I've sent? Because by now you should be done. So tomorrow I'm sending the next set of materials to you all. Do you understand? Because by now you should have finished with those first material. We still have like 3 more to go, right? And exams is fast approaching. So you should be done with that so I can send a lot of standards. We can finish up with standards, then start group accounts, financial statement, ratio, and all those other core areas too, right? Okay, so please confirm. How many of you have been able to go through IFRS 5, the theoretical part, which is conceptual framework? Please, that part comes out a lot. I was still going through past questions this evening, and I saw a lot. Every diet, at least 1 or 2 questions minimum, will come out on all these theoretical parts: conceptual framework, sustainability, ethics. So please, like I said, there are cheap ways to get marks in the exam. So read up and understand those ones very well, right? But please, just confirm, how many of us have been able to go through IFRS 5 and IFRS 13, which is what we are looking at tonight? Okay. All right, please confirm if anybody has gone through that. But please, I hope you can still hear me. So if I'm not getting any response or reaction, that means that we have not yet gone through it. And please, the materials I sent, they are not so bulky now. Do you understand? You should at least have been able to go through the ones I've sent, because that's just like the introductory part. So I'm assuming that none of us has been able to read up on IFRS 5 and IFRS 13 yet. All right, sorry. Oh, okay, no problem. But please confirm if you can still hear me. I want to know if it's network or you guys have not gone through it. So please just react or talk, or you can use the mic if you want to. So I can double confirm that first. Hello, please can we hear me? Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so great. I just needed to confirm that so we can move. So I'm assuming that we have not gone through it. Please, that's not honestly, that's not good enough. That's not good enough, because I don't know if I said it. Like, this live class will only make sense and we will enjoy it more if we have done our part by going through what I've sent, so that when we come to the live class, we just treat more of past questions and I can explain how to approach questions. We treat questions live and all those things. Not that I will start having to go through the scratch, right? Explaining some bit, because if you have not gone through some of those materials, when we start solving past questions, you are going to, some of you might have challenges because you have not mastered some of the basics yet. But regardless, honestly, like, time is going. I can't say I want to wait for us to actually go through those materials before we have the live class. So I'm going to still solve those past questions, but I would like to encourage and implore us, please go through those materials, right? Go through those materials, put in the work, right? I know it's not easy. I know you also have a lot of other commitments and so many things that you have to do. Okay, yeah, Victor, please, I can see your hands up. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I was wondering, the material you're talking about, I don't think I have the materials, or maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know.
Okay, all right, no
I don't know
problem.
where it
That's
was. Yeah.
fine. I will check our chat. I think I should have sent it to you now. That um the one that has Google Drive link where you download the PDF, and then you also get a playlist on YouTube where I've solved questions and explained everything you need to know. So you don't have that yet for IFRS 5 and 13. Is that what you're saying, sir? So I can confirm and
Okay, I will need to check. I will
I'll
need to
I'll
check
check
again.
once I'm done with this call. So I'll also confirm from my end. In case I've not sent I can send to you. All right, thank you. All right, so all right, thank you for that.
Okay.
So like I was saying, so please, I'm still going to go ahead and solve the past question because well, for IFRS 5 and IFRS 13, they are very simple standards, and I know that these are not standards that will most likely give us what give us issues in the what in the exam. But please, by the time we start getting to more complex standard, IS 12, IS 33, honestly, there's no how we will do this live class if you have not gone through those materials. So please, I'm begging us again, please take time to work on them, right? That's why there are video materials and PDF. Do you understand? Like this live class now, you have to be there. But for those materials, at any point in time, even if it's 1 hour every day when you wake up, please. Okay? All right, great. Because of our time, we have some past questions to solve. I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see me solving those questions. Please, the moment you can see my screen, kindly help me confirm so I know we're on the same page and we can get started. All right, so please, can you see my screen yet? Please confirm if you can see my screen so you can see the way how I'm solving the solution. All right, great. Thank you, Victor. I can confirm that. All right, thank you. All right. So so let me go to this. So please, I've sent the past question we are treating tonight. I've sent it to the group, right? So you can have access to it. I also show it now. Okay, so I've sent the PDF to the group tonight. So please, you can, if you have not downloaded, just quickly download and open and let's look at it together. All right, so we'll start from IFRS 5, right? IFRS 5. So now let me say this honestly, IFRS 5 is one of the standards that have been tested over and over again, especially for your stage, for skill stage. I don't know what it is with the examiners and IFRS 5, but it's a very examinable standard in the sense that ICANN has tested it over and over again and they keep testing it. And the funny part is with IFRS 5, most times the questions are almost the same. In fact, there was a diet that they just picked the question almost word for word and just changed one or two things and repeated the same question on what? IFRS 5. So please, I'm begging us, IFRS 5 is a simple standard. It's something you can spend time with, master, so that when it comes out, these are questions you can easily do, get good marks. Then you can now move on to the more complex questions, your group account, your cash flow, ratio that will take your time, right? So please, I'm saying again, IFRS 5 is very examinable for your stage, for skills FR. ICANN examiners test IFRS 5 a lot. So when we get to standards like this, I will emphasize it for you, right? So IS 33 like that. But as we are reaching those standards, I will tell you that pay attention to these standards because questions come more on standards like that. Okay. So all right. So let me just read the question on IFRS 5. And this question, like I said, it has been tested over and over and over again. Okay. So please, if you can't hear me or there is an issue with network, please feel free to use your mic because I'm sharing my screen right now, Shay, and I'm sharing my task screen, so I can't see exactly the call again. So please, in case there's a break, you are free to, or if you have any question, please, you are free to call my attention to it because I want the class to be as interactive, and I'm going to be asking you questions too, actually. Okay. So now, but this is that some of us said we have not gone through this IFRS 5, right? Honestly, okay, but let's still do it, sha. Okay, so now this question says IFRS 5, non-current assets held for sale and discontinued operations set out the requirements that specify the accounting treatment for assets held for sale and the presentation and disclosure of what? Discontinued operations. Required: 1. Explain the conditions that must apply at the reporting date for an asset or disposal group to be classified as held for sale and how the asset can be what? Can be measured. So they're asking for two things there. 1, they're asking for the conditions that must be met before we can classify an asset as what? Held for sale. And then how do we measure those what? Those assets. So there are two parts to the question, right? And please, now let me say something very important. Please, I hope we are together. Now, please, I want to beg us in the exam, right? Please, when you are answering a question, please always check your what? always check the marks allocated to a question. Now look at it, they're asking us to explain and also show or explain how the asset can be measured, right? And still list 5 conditions or 4 conditions, and it's just 5 marks. That means this question is not carrying a lot of marks. So please, let's start from the conditions. You cannot be writing stories, you cannot be writing 5 6 line per each condition, because as the way I'm looking at it, if you check the marking guide, a condition might just be half mark, right? And so imagine you are wasting time writing so much on it. So even though they said explain, please, as much as they said explain, because honestly, if they were to rephrase this question well, right, they should have actually used what? They should have used okay, they should have used, if they were to rephrase this question well, they should have used what? List the conditions, because you are not expected to explain and write long stories for half mark, right? Because we are still going to explain how the asset is measured. So I'm saying it again, please, very important, when you see a question, always check the mark allocated to it. That will guide you on the volume of answer and how much energy and time you are going to spend on what? Answering that question, right? So let's go. So what are the conditions to be met before an asset can be classified as held for sale? Let me throw it open. Is this exactly this question? I don't know. It has been tested. This is in IFRS 5. If they are going to test anything, most times they test this and they test impairment of a what? Disposal group. I'll come again. IFRS 5, where examiners test most times, that they have tested over and over again, is this issue of condition, right? And secondly, the issue of what? The issue of your what's the name? The issue of impairment on what? Disposal group. Okay, so please, these are areas you should actually what? Pay attention to. So like I'm saying, so I want to throw the question open to everybody. Okay, so who wants to go, who wants to try? So what are the conditions that must be met or must apply before you can classify a non-current asset as held for sale? Okay, so there are around 4 or 5. So who wants to go first? Who wants to try? I don't just want to be uh telling you. Okay, all right. All right, so please, anybody want to try? All right, please, can we still hear me? All right, Victor,
Yes,
please go
sir.
ahead. Yeah, so please, like I said, make the class interactive. Just use your mic if you can and answer. Do you understand? So Victor, go ahead.
Okay, sir. I think one of the conditions is that it must be available for immediate sales in its present condition.
All right, thank you. Please, as you are putting that, that's not the full one. You write subject to uh terms and conditions customary to such sale, right? There's an aspect like that, Shay, that I have to put so that I can get the full mark, right? So that's very true. The first major condition that must be met before you can classify an asset as held for sale is what? It must be what? It must be available for immediate sale in its present condition and what? And location, subject to terms that are usual or customary to such what? Such sale, right? That's the first condition. Very true. Second condition, who else wants to try? IFRS 5. Please, like I said, ICANN has tested this over and over and over and over again. Oh, please, especially this part I'm cheating. That's why I specifically picked it out. Those are your conditions. Okay, so anybody else want to try? There are around 4 or 5. What's wrong with this my mouse? Oh, okay. Okay, so please, anybody else wants to try? Please, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can
All
hear
right, please
you.
go ahead. I said anybody else wants to try. So my system is just, give me a minute. Don't know why it's just pressing itself. All right. Okay, so all right. So I said anybody else wants to try, nobody else, right? Okay, so let me just list out those conditions. Please, I'm begging us again, go through those materials. If you have actually done those gone through those materials, see, all these things I'm saying would have done with this, and we can move on to more of questions that, in fact, the calculation too, as I'm doing it, you're understanding. because you have gone through those materials. And I'm saying by now, according to our schedule, we should be done with the materials I've sent, the first set, because by tomorrow I'm going to start sending the second set. Time is going oh. As at today, we have just around 99 days to exam, right? Before we know it, 20 days, 10 days to exam. Exams are here. So we cannot afford to also, like, do you understand, not go at a fast pace in a way as much as we want to understand. So please, I'm imploring us again, please, by the next live class we are having, I hope that we would have gone through those materials so that when we're having the live class, like, it's going to be interactive. So the live class is not for me to come and teach like that. Do you understand? It's for us to interact. Because by the time you start answering questions, I can tell you, okay, so this is how you answer it, add this to it to get more marks and all those things, right? Okay, so I'll just give you those conditions because of our time. I want us to move on to other areas too. So the conditions that must be met, like Victor said, the first one is that the asset must be available for sale in its present condition, subject to terms that are customary to such what? Such sale. So that means that they must stop using the asset, and that if a buyer comes today, a buyer must be able to what? To buy the asset. That's the first condition. Second condition, they must actively be what? Be marketing the asset for sale or looking for a buyer. We call it an active program for a buyer for selling the buyer, or selling the asset must have been what? Initiated. So they must be doing advert, trying to talk to people, see people who can buy. Because you can't say you want to sell an asset if you are not what? If you are not advertising or marketing that particular what? That particular asset. That's another condition. Another condition is that the asset must be marketed for sale at a price that is reasonable in correlation with the what? With the what? Market price. So they must be offering that asset at a price that is close to what? The market value of that asset. For example, if a company wants to sell a motor vehicle, right, and in the market the motor vehicle is valued or is worth 10 million naira, and they are offering to sell their own at 20 million naira, of course you can assume that nobody is going to buy something for 20 million when they can get it in the market for 10 million. So they have actually failed that what? That condition. So that's another one. Then another condition is that an appropriate or the appropriate level of management must be committed to a plan to sell. All these things I've explained in the materials and I've explained calmly, like explained very well and thoroughly. So please, I'm emphasizing that you go over it again, right? Okay. So I said the appropriate level of management must be committed to a plan to sell the asset. That means that it's not just somebody junior or somebody that does not have the required authority that is saying they should sell the asset. Before they sell the asset, it must approval must have come from the what? From appropriate level, most likely senior level or what? Or top level management. Another condition or a last condition that I will say is that the asset must be sold within 12 months from the date of classification. So let's say they classify the asset as at January. By December, they should have sold the asset. If they don't sell the asset, they can no longer classify as held for sale. So there's a condition that also says that they must be able to sell within a year from the date they decided to what? Classify it as held for sale. So please, those are the conditions. They are in your materials and both the videos and what? And PDF. I'm begging you, if IFRS 5 is going to come out, this part most likely comes out a lot. So it's an area you cannot afford not to what? Not to know. Okay? So that's the first part of the question. Now, the second part of the question says, how should we measure an asset classified as what? Held for sale. That one is very simple. What the standard says is that we we measure an asset held for sale at the lower of carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. I'll come again, please. That's like a 1 mark question. A non-current asset held for sale is measured at the lower of its carrying amount and fair value less cost to sell. All these things, I've solved the example and done all those things in the materials I've sent to you, right? So that means that a non-current asset held for sale, when we want to measure it, we calculate two values. We first determine the carrying amount, and carrying amount for a non-current asset is simply your what? Cost minus what? Accumulated depreciation and accumulated what? Impairment. Then we also calculate another amount called fair value less cost to sell, right? And so after we have done that, sorry, I want to admit somebody. After we have done that, the next thing we are now going to do is what? We now what? we now look at which one is what, which one is I'm coming. Sorry, let me just quickly admit these people. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, so we now what? We now look at which one is what is the lower of the two. So the answer to that question is simply that what? You measure a non-current asset held for sale at the lower of its carrying amount and fair value less what? Less cost to sell, right? That answer that question. Okay. So let's look at the next question. It says now, explain how impairment of assets should be identified and accounted for at the end of a reporting period. So he's saying that for a non-current asset held for sale, anytime we have an impairment, how should it be identified and treated in the books for marks, right? So let's look at it together. Very simple. You just tell them that IFRS 5 says that we test for impairment of non-current assets held for sale at every what? Reporting date, or at the end of a reporting period. So in other words, every time we prepare our financial statement at the end of a reporting period, we always test for what? Impairment of our NCA held for sale. That's the first thing we do. So we identify impairment, one, at the point of classification, and two, at what? At every reporting date, or the end of every reporting period. That's the first thing you tell them. Secondly, just like your normal impairment, you tell them that to know whether the asset has been impaired, we still do IS 36, right? We compare the what? The carrying amount and what? And what's the carrying amount and IS 36. I'm trying to remember the exact words we use for technical words we use. Is not value in use. Carrying amount and, please, does anybody remember? I can't remember the exact words now, right? For that. Okay. So that's that. Then you also tell them that for a non-current asset held for sale, right? Anytime there is impairment, the impairment should be debited to your profit or loss as what? As an expense. So impairment of NC held for sale goes to your what? P or L. Then lastly, you also tell them that for a non-current asset held for sale, if the asset is carried at revalued amount, remember that under IAS 16, or we still do IAS 16 together, IAS 16 says that we can measure an asset or a PPE at two measurement bases, right? Either cost or what? Revaluation model. So if the non-current asset held for sale is measured under revaluation model, so anytime we have impairment loss, before we take it to our statement of profit or loss, we first use the impairment loss to what? We take it against, if we have revaluation surplus, we use that impairment to hit our revaluation surplus. Is what is left that will now take to our what? P or L. I will not waste so much time on this because, like I said, I've calmly explained all these things in the materials I've sent to you. So I'm begging us again, please go through those materials, work on those materials, right? Okay, no problem. So that's that. Then, like I said, please, another question that comes out a lot under IFRS 5 is this impairment loss on a disposal group. In fact, that question, I don't know what it is, why can they repeat it almost word for word. They just change some figures almost 3 or 4 times now. They have asked it like that, right? Live and direct like that. So please, why I'm not solving that question here is because I've thoroughly solved it in the material that I sent to us all. So please go through those materials and avail yourself of that. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now before we leave IFRS 5, any question on IFRS 5? Before we look at IFRS 13, this one we are going to solve a computational question on IFRS 13. So any question on IFRS 5, like I said, I'm saying it again, please, IFRS 5 comes out a lot. It's a very examinable standard for your stage. Examiners like testing IFRS 5. So I'm saying it's a standard you cannot afford not to know and master. So please go through those materials I've sent and solve all the questions I've sent. Find past questions beyond what I've solved for you in class now. You will see a lot of past questions on IFRS 5 if you go to your Pathfinder. Please make sure you solve as many questions as possible. And in case you are solving a question and you're having issues, please just enter my DM or just post it on the group so that in our next live class we can all look at the question together and I will solve it for you guys. So because of our time, this IFRS 13 questions has calculations or computation. So please, is there any question on IFRS 5 before I move on to IFRS 13? Please, if you have question, just use the mic or you can raise your hands or you can even use the chat too. If you can't talk, probably you're in a place that you can't really talk, okay? So I'm assuming that let me give you just like a minute more. Any question on IFRS 5, please ask your question now. You know, I said the whole essence of the live class is to make it more interactive, right? So that we can actually talk and we can have back and forth. You ask questions and I answer. So here's the opportunity to ask question now, right? So any question on IFRS 5, on what I've just explained, or IFRS 5 generally, any question? All right, great. So I'm assuming that there's no question. All right, please confirm again if you can still hear me. You can just use a reaction or you use your chat bot or talk. So I know that we're still together. Before I look at the IFRS 13 question. All right, thank you. Yeah, I can confirm. Yeah, thank you. Sin. All right, great. So let's get this
We are
question on
following,
IFRS
sister.
13. Thank you for the feedback. All right. So IFRS 13, let me say this, please. IFRS 13 for your stage is not as examinable as what? As IFRS 5. They rarely test IFRS 13. I don't know why the examiners do that. Do you understand? So I'll be telling you for each standard like that, the ones that they normally test a lot and the ones that they don't test so much as we are treating those standards. So IFRS 13 is not a popular standard for skill stage. But by the time you get to professional stage, they ask so many questions on IFRS 13. It's so common in professional stage. That's your SBR when you get to professional. But for FR for skills, I don't know why examiners don't really test. Maybe they feel the standard is too simple, right? Because it's actually a very simple and straightforward standard, right? So they don't ask so much questions. But like I always say, you can't predict outcome. Once in a while like that, they will shock everybody. They will just bring a question from a standard or an area that they have not tested before or they have not tested in a long time, and everybody will just be shouting, yay, and that's why I don't like doing that. So that's why we're going to cover the syllabus, God helping us, before the what? Before your exams. So that even when ICANN wants to play funny and they just bring areas that they have not been testing in a long time, you will still be able to what? Comfortably answer questions and clear your paper. So I'm going to read the question for us now and we're going to solve together. Okay? Now, Indomitable PLC is reviewing the fair valuation of certain assets and liabilities in line with IFRS 13 fair value measurement. It carries an asset that is traded in different markets and is uncertain as to which valuation to what? To adopt. The asset has been measured at fair value under International Financial Reporting what? Standard. At present, Indomitable PLC only buys and sells assets in market what? Market C. The data relating to the asset are set out below for year to June 30th, 2020. So they gave us three markets. They gave us the volume in each of those markets. They gave us the price in each of those markets. They gave us the cost of entering the market, which is what you call your transport cost, and they also gave us your what? Your transaction cost. So now we are going to solve this question. We are going to calculate fair value under three conditions. One, we are going to calculate fair value if the now please let me ask again before we continue. This is why I would have appreciated if we had gone through the materials I've sent. Has anybody gone through IFRS 13? You have gone through the materials I've sent on IFRS 13 and you have read and watched the videos and solved the questions there. Anybody yet? Wow. Nobody has gone through IFRS 13. We are going to fight oh, don't worry. Tomorrow you see all of you, all of you will see me in your DM. We need to talk. But the serious note, none of us we have not yet gone through IFRS 13. Please, for those just joining, I said that we are working with time. Your exams are just around how many days to go? 98, 99 days to go. Is here oh. So that means that honestly by tomorrow I'm sending the next batch. So even if and this first batch I'm sending, you don't have so much in the first batch, right? Because they are just introduction and the standards we are taking, they are still quite simple and straightforward. By the time we get to the second and third batch and start group account, published, and the more heavy topics, right? So please, I need you to move faster. I'm emphasizing it again. I know that most of you have a lot of things that you have to attend to, but please, your exams are also important. You know how much you have invested in terms of money and time, and the best thing is to just do it once and clear and what and move. Having reference is not the best, I'm telling you, like it's not the best feeling and it's not the best state to be. So my prayer, my plan is that we all pass and clear our papers, but it require you to put in the work too. And that's why I also went for a model where you have some form of recorded class so that you can also at your own pace study, right? So even if you don't attend live classes, at least you have those materials that you are supposed to work with, and because they are video material, you can watch them over and over again. You have the PDF materials with you, right? So even if it's to wake up, you know that you are waking up, you wake up to prepare for work by around 4:30. Try and wake up 3, even if it's an hour every day for a particular course. I'm emphasizing it oh, please, because I don't want it to get choky. 2 months or a month to exam, we are now running, you are trying to cover up. It won't make sense like that oh. So I'm begging us now. So I'm assuming that nobody has gone through IFRS 13, right? So that I can just quickly explain some things, because so that when I'm solving the question, it does not look like I'm doing magic, because you should have had at least a basic knowledge of IFRS 13 for me to really solve this question as fast as I thought I could, right? Okay, so I'm assuming that we have not actually gone through it. Is fine. Okay, all right, so let's go. So now, under IFRS 13, right? Now you have three, or okay, you have how many markets? You have two major types of market. For the sake of this question, please still go take time to watch the video. I've explained everything in very simple and clear terms there, right? So you have two types of market. You have the principal market and most advantageous market, right? What's the principal market? The principal market is the market where they sell the asset in the highest volume and frequency. That's the market, like is the major market for the asset, is the biggest market for that asset. We call it what? The principal market. And IFRS 13 is very clear. IFRS 13 says that when we want to fair value an asset, we go to the what? The principal market, and that's where we calculate our what? Our fair value. I'll come again. Principal market is the market with the highest volume and frequency of transaction for that asset. That means that's the market that they sell it in the highest volume and frequency, right? And that's where we first go to. That's our first choice anytime we want to fair value an asset or a what? Or a liability. Now, the second thing is we have what you call most advantageous market. Now, there are times that we cannot determine a what? What's the name, what do I call it, principal market. That means that all the markets, they are almost the same. You can't identify one that is the biggest market there. So in that case, IFRS 13 allows to use your most advantageous market. Most advantageous market in very simple English is the market that will give you the highest money that you will take home when you sell that asset. That is the most profitable market to you in terms of cash flow. That means if you sell that asset in that market, you are going to make the highest money in terms of the money you are taking home. Can you hear me? All right, somebody talk now. All right, Christiana, please go ahead. Hello? Okay, all right. I guess that's an error. Are you talking? Christiana, do you have a question?
No, no, I don't.
All right, that's fine. Okay, so I was explaining most advantageous market, right? So I said most advantageous. Hello? So please, Christiana, please can you mute? Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, great. So I was saying that the most advantageous market is that market, right, where you are going to get the most amount of money when you sell, the market that will give you the highest amount that you take home, right? Now, let's go to this question. Let's practicalize what we have learnt in this question. Please check the three markets. Which market is your principal market in the question? Oya, talk oh. Check the question. Which market is the principal market in the three markets?
Market A.
Market A.
Market A, okay. Any contrary opinion? Alright, so we all agree that is market A, right? Okay, beautiful. Okay, so yes, you are all correct. Market A, that was so obvious. How do you know? So they will give you the volume of market units, right? You can see that in market A, they sell the highest volume there, that's 20 million, right? That's clear and that's simple. Now, the next question I want to ask you is that which market is the most advantageous market and why? You give me reasons why. So quickly do your calculations. Which market, based on, remember I said most advantageous market, is the market that will give you the highest amount, that in terms of what? In terms of like what you will take home in your pocket, cash. Please remember cash. So do your calculations. Out of these three markets, which market are you going to sell that will give you the highest amount of money you will take home? Market A. Okay, somebody said market A. Let me wait for others. Any contrary opinion? Yes.
Market C.
Market C. Okay, thank you. So I like the
Market
fact that
B.
we're having market
Market
A,
B.
market C. What did you say, sir? The last person.
Market B.
Market B. I like this.
Market B. Yeah.
Market B. Okay, we have three options now. All right. So, all right. So let's look at it together. Remember, I said the most advantageous market, right, is the market that gives you the highest amount that you will take home. Remember, I said cash, right? Now, if we sell in market A, we are going to sell for 95 naira. Do you all agree? Please, I need your feedback now so I can know we're together. Please, if you can
Yes,
talk, use
yes.
your mic. Yes, all right. So we are going to sell for 95, abi, but we are going to pay first and foremost cost of 10 naira for entering the market, abi. That's 95 minus 10. That will give us how
Yeah.
much? 85, abi.
Yes.
Then we also pay transaction cost of 5 naira, right? So that means
Yes.
that at the end of the day, we are taking 80 naira, 80 million naira home, abi. Do you all agree to that?
Mm.
All right. Let's do for market B.
Yes.
Market B will be 80 minus 10 minus 10. That's how much? 60. You can see that it's even worse than
60.
market A because that amount is lower than what we get in market A. Let's now look at market C. 110 minus 15 minus 10 will give us what? 85. So in the three, market A is giving us 80, market B is giving us 60, and market C is giving us 85. Which one is our most advantageous market? If you were you, which market will you
Market
sell
C.
the asset?
Market C.
Market C. So please, that's how we
Market C.
calculate it oh. Do you understand? That's how to calculate your what? Most advantageous market. Now that I've identified the two markets, I will now teach you how to calculate fair value. To calculate fair value is very simple. Fair value is simply your price minus your what? Transport costs. I will come again. Fair value is your what? You can write it down. Price minus transport cost. Please, you ignore transaction cost when you are calculating your what? Your fair value. Transport cost is the only relevant what? Relevant cost. I will come again. Fair value is what? Your selling price minus your what? Transportation cost, the cost of moving that asset to the market. Your transaction cost is not relevant. So that's how you calculate fair value, as simple as that. So let's go back to this question now. Remember that we said that market A is our principal market, abi? So that means that if we are not using most advantageous market, if market A is our principal market, what will be our fair value in market A? Oh yeah, somebody should give me the answer. Based on what I just explained.
Sorry,
What's the
can you
fair
come
value?
again, sir?
So the question
All right. So I said that, remember I said fair value is your selling price minus your what? Your transport cost. Now, you know we have all agreed that market A is our principal market, right? So I'm saying that if we want to calculate our fair value in market A, how much is our fair value in market A, which is our principal market, based on what I just explained, that this is how you calculate fair value. So what's our fair value in market A?
is 85.
85, right?
Yes.
Very simple, yes. So your fair value in market A is 95 minus what? 10, and that's what you tell them in the exam. 85 what? 85 million naira. Now the second part of the question will now be like, if there is no principal market, right? That means we have to use our most advantageous market. What's the fair value in the most advantageous market? We all agreed that our most advantageous market is market what? Market C. Oya, calculate your fair value
I
market C for
see.
me. How much is our fair value market C?
Five.
How much?
55.
95, right?
95.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we are all correct. So that's it oh, as simple as that. And honestly, this is one of the most technical questions they have brought so far on IFRS 13. And that's to show you how simple IFRS 13 is, right? Maybe that's why examiners don't like testing it for skills, because they feel like it's very simple. And like I told you, it's a very simple standard, right? So that's IFRS 13. Please, I want to now I'm going to give us two assignments now. The first assignment is that, please, between now and weekend, I'm asking all of you to finish up the materials that I've sent to you. Please, in fact, by tomorrow I should start sending the next batch so we can move faster. We still have a lot to cover up, right? That's one. Secondly, please, this particular question I've solved, I want all of you to go and solve it again on your own. Solve it with your biro and inside your book or a sheet of paper, and snap it and send it to me. And I'm expecting the answer between tonight and before the end of tomorrow, because it's not difficult. You know why I'm asking you to solve it? It looks easy because we all did it together. But when you solve it on your own, you pick your book and biro and solve it on your own, it sticks with you. So even when it comes out in the exam, it's going to be easier for you to what? For you to solve. So please, I'll be expecting all your answers. I'll post it on the group, so for those that are running around and when they watch the video, please, I'll be expecting your answer in my DM so I can also check they have actually understood what we have done tonight. So tonight we have looked at IFRS 5 and IFRS 13, right? And I told you that they are simple standards. I emphasize that IFRS 5 is more examinable. They have tested IFRS 5. IFRS 13 in the last 6 or 7 diets, I don't think they have tested maybe like one or twice. They don't really test it like that. But like I said, you can't predict ICANN. You don't know when they are going to test it. That's why you need to cover as much of the syllabus as possible. So regardless of whatever angle they are coming from, you are still able to what? You are still able to find your way through and what? And do very well. Okay. So all right. So that's that. Any question before we come to the end of the class? All right. So then I'll
That's the
send to the
question
class in
again.
advance what we'll be doing our next live class. We'll pick like 2 or 3 standards again and solve past question on them in our next live class. All right. So any question? Please,
Please,
the
can
floor
you
is
show the
open.
question again?
You said?
Can you show the question again?
Can I show the question? All right. Yes. Please don't
Yeah.
worry. The question I've sent it to the group. It's on the group, so you can download it. But this is the question. All right. Does anybody have any question for me before we call it a night?
Oh, I thought she wants to ask question based on she wants to make use of the question to ask her question.
Okay, all right. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what she wants to say for, but she has seen the question. Then, like I said, I've sent the question to the group too. All right. Why am I raising my hand? All right, no problem.
So,
So, any
Okay.
any other question before we call it a night?
okay. So I want to ask, so when
Oh,
you see something like
I
this,
sir.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Let's.
Let me
Okay.
hold on for her.
Exactly. Thank you. All right.
so
Go
when you
ahead.
see a question like this,
Yes.
the solution is just to get
Is
your principal market and your most advantageous market, then you calculate and that's all.
yes. Yes. That's it. All right. So the next person, I'm listening.
Okay, mine is not a question but a suggestion.
All right.
Okay. So to enable studying, be I don't know the right word to use. Should I say competitive or just to encourage us? So I'm giving a suggestion suggestion like a daily studying routine. Meanwhile, and assignment computation we submit every day, like
Okay.
track if everyone is studying, something
Yes,
like that.
seriously, that will honestly make sense for real.
That will work. Like
Because
it
to
will
me,
look competitive.
Okay.
Yeah.
areas because working, then coming back home, I'm tired. Like, it's been a
Yeah.
lot.
All right. No problem.
Yes. So something challenging like a task,
All right.
Yeah, like
a daily
every
task.
2 days task or something.
All right. No problem. That's fine. What I'll say about that is that one. All right. Please, another thing that can help, you guys have said, is that thank God you are all on the group, right? So please, first and foremost, you are free
Yes.
to create other groups, accountability group. You can have study partners that you guys can encourage each other, right? Do you understand what I'm saying, Shay? That
Please,
works.
so I need study
Okay.
partner.
You can
I
discuss
am
that
here.
on
I
the
am
group
here. I
now.
am here.
Discuss among yourself
I
on the
need study
WhatsApp group.
partner.
It's open for you guys to discuss and
Yes, we
agree
will do
among
that on
yourself.
the group.
Exactly. Do you
Oh,
understand? So
okay. Thank you for the permission, sir.
you're welcome. But you know that personally, too, at least I try to check up on everybody once a week. I don't want to make it daily. You know why? Even the once a week that I'm checking on you, trying to be, where have you gone? Where are you now? You won't believe that some people don't even respond to my message and they read it. So imagine I now give you daily as I'm telling you that even at that, some people still want to do it. Do you understand? And I don't want it to be daily. So
Yeah.
that weekly is fine. At least I know I check up on everybody every week, monitor your progress, do you have challenge and all those things. But what I would suggest is that you can also create like groups among yourself where you can challenge yourself, right? So today we are doing IFRS 5. How many of you have done it and all those things? You are free to do that among yourself. That's very open. So you are free to do that for all the courses you have and all the groups that you have. You are free to do that, please. All right, so I hope that answers your question.
Sir,
Go
hello,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead, sir.
Your interference will also help us to be more serious.
How will it help you
So,
guys to be more serious? Yeah, I'm with you.
we beg that you also be part of it.
Promise. Promise.
Because
Yes.
if we are reading among ourselves, we may also, I'm just speaking from my own end now.
Okay.
We might also feel like maybe I can do it later and now. But when you are
Yeah.
involved, and
Yes.
when you are involved and you are seeing, like, let's say we are 11 in this group
Mm.
and like 10 are submitted and
Okay.
you're just the only one left out, you'll be feeling so bad that you've not done it, and you put
That
in more effort to see that you're in line with what others are doing. So
that's
we
that's
urge
fine.
that you
I, I agree with you. No problem.
also.
That's fine. So once you have created, just let me know and add me to the group. That's fine. That's no issue. That's no issue. That's
Okay.
fine. That works. All
Okay.
right. All right.
Okay.
Any other question? But please, you know I'm begging us. Read though. Okay. I talk my own sha. All right. Any other
We will
question?
read. We will read.
Okay. All right. All right. No problem. That's fine. I'm waiting for our next class. God will help. We want to do.
Okay.
You guys will not have gone through it. I will para. All right, no problem, but it's fine. All right, send that question so that we can all get to for those that still want to read or do some other things before going to bed, right? Send that question. I'm assuming there is none. All right, thank you all. Thank you for joining the live class. Okay, so see you next time in our live class. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
Thank
good
you,
night.
sir. Thank
Good night.
you.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye.
Yeah,
Sweet
bye.
dreams, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Yes.